Just because somebody was not here, I'm going to remind us of what we were talking about on Wednesday. Remember that of all the parables which Jesus was teaching his disciples and the people who followed him, the parable of prayer in Luke 18 is the one that Jesus started explaining or gave the lesson before he taught the parable. And we said that it means prayer is for everybody. Prayer is for everybody. But today we are going to talk about sight. This is not a health talk. I know when I said sight, some people are saying, "Hey, is it a health talk?" This is not Nakayamat law. Yes, but today we are going to talk about sight. Why should we have sight? Is sight even necessary? Why should we have sight? Let's jump straight into the word. If you look at our Master Jesus, he healed the blind. Not once, not twice, so many times. My favorite is the blind Bartimaeus. Everybody knows that man. How he shouted. One time, he healed another person. And he was like, "I can't see. I see people like trees." And then he touched him again. And he said, "Oh, now I see clearly. I see in HD." And there was another person where Jesus healed. He said, "Go and wash. Go and wash." So this tells us that sight is very important. So many times he healed the blind. It tells us that we need sight. We need sight. That is why sight is important. Do you remember when the followers of John the Baptist came to him? Let's go to the scripture. In Matthew 11, 4 to 5. Are you there already? All right. So, verse 4, it says that Jesus replied, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight. The blind receive sight. The blind receive sight. The lame walk. Those who have leprosy are cured. The deaf hear. The dead are raised. And the good news is preached to the poor." Isn't it that Jesus starts with the blind see? It means it is very important to our Messiah. Sight. It means since the time of man, the beginning of time, nobody has heard of the blind from birth receiving their sight. If you put this in context, you have to remember that in Egypt there were magicians. You remember when Moses went, he did his and they did theirs. So there were magicians, they were doing things. But this man said, since the time of man, the beginning of time, nobody has heard a person who is healed of blindness from birth. So it is remarkable. It's not something we should take lightly. The power of sight. Are you ready to cry out? Are you ready to cry out? God had them where they were. So if we cry out today, we cry out today, He will hear us and our eyes will open. And we will see the well of refreshing. We will see the well of refreshing. I don't know what desert you are on, but like Hagar, if you cry out, how come there's a well right there in the desert? So that hardship you are in, the solution is right there. But you can't see. But if he opens your eyes, you would see. You would see.